Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome back here to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. My name is Hunter. On this Monday, December 8th, 2025, winter weather is going strong across the United States and Canada as more winter storms with heavy snow is expected to move across parts of the Canada and the United States through the next few days. We're going to be tracking it here, the latest on the track, the timing and the totals, and we're going to be looking at a major Arctic blast heading into the weekend. The coldest air of the season as far as temperatures and wind chills are concerned. We're going to show you the latest on those numbers and look at the long range heading into the Christmas, New Year timeframe and through the middle of January. If you're a cold and snow lover, stick around because you're going to love the long range forecast. That is for sure. Hopefully everybody's having a good start to their week out there. A great Monday so far. And if you do enjoy these forecasts, make sure to like the video, share the video, and also subscribe to the channel so I can keep you covered on the latest winter weather impacts across North America, including right here in the United States, but also Canada as well. So without further ado, let's get to the forecast. Yes, a winter storm is moving across portions of the mid-Atlantic on this Monday, and it is prompting some winter storm warnings across Virginia, including the Richmond area, where several inches of accumulating snow are expected heading through the rest of this afternoon and into the early evening hours. In the purple, those are winter weather advisories where travel could be a little bit disrupted as far west there as central Kentucky and as far south as northern North Carolina, also impacting parts of West Virginia there down to the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. So a lot of areas here in the mid-Atlantic being impacted by our latest winter storm, and let's dive right into it and see. In blue, that's your snowfall. The darker the blue, that's the heavier snow. And the green, that is your rain. So as we go into the afternoon, 2, 3 o'clock, that snowfall still going to be flying in places like Charleston, West Virginia, Richmond, down into the Raleigh area of North Carolina. And it's going to be snowing, snow-covered roads, and difficult travel here across the mid-Atlantic. So make sure to leave plenty of time to get to your destination and travel slowly as well this afternoon. Heading into the evening hours around dinner time, still seeing some flakes, flurries, flying across portions of Virginia, North Carolina, albeit on a weakening trend. After dinner, about 9, 10 o'clock, this snowstorm is going to be wrapping up for the mid-Atlantic, but not before producing another 1 to 3 inches worth of snowfall on top of what we've already seen into the Charleston area, Richmond and Roanoke, all the way over here into the coast of Virginia, northern North Carolina, and parts of eastern Kentucky as well, getting in on the fun with the snowfall. This is again on top of what we've already seen. And looking here at that snowstorm, we have another one right behind it. Clipper system is going to continue to track across the northern U.S. Winter storm watches in blue are posted into eastern North Dakota, northern Minnesota, and northern Wisconsin heading into the next couple of days. In the tan shaded colors, those are high wind watches and warnings where we are gearing up for a high wind event across the northern plains and the northern Rockies. And then in the dark green in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Portland, all included, those are flood watches where an atmospheric river of moisture is going to unleash across the Pacific Northwest going through the next few days. So let's track it all here. Looking at this afternoon, we got a clipper system moving across portions of eastern North Dakota and Minnesota. This is going to drop a couple of inches of quick hitting snow as we go into the late afternoon and into the evening. This will be moving into the Badger state of Wisconsin. So up here into the La Crosse area, the Wisconsin Dells, Eau Claire, and then up there into Rhinelander, we could be seeing some snowfall. And then going into the Tuesday morning commute, it's going to be a snowy one in Michigan. So get ready from Traverse City down to Grand Rapids and Detroit, Lansing. Those areas could be seeing some snowfall, maybe even a snow shield down there into Toledo, Ohio as well, and Cleveland going into Tuesday morning. And then right on its heels, another even stronger clipper system will bring some heavy snow. This is the one that is prompting those winter storm watches with some heavy, quick-hitting snow. An icy threat there for northeast Iowa, southern Wisconsin, and northern Illinois going into Tuesday evening over that fresh snowpack. And then we see that snow moving over again in Wisconsin, Michigan, and into the New England region. And look to the west, folks. Yes, another storm system coming into the Pacific Northwest on Wednesday, spreading more rain and more snow to those areas. Now, between now and Wednesday evening on December 10th, this is the snowfall map, and you can see some snow in the Pacific Northwest, but there's our clipper system track across the north into northern Minnesota, eastern North Dakota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and New England. That's where we could see the heaviest snowfall from this. And diving right into the totals, our first clipper system, quick hitting, could give us an inch or two of snowfall into your Tuesday morning commute from Michigan back here into northern Wisconsin and northern Minnesota. And then from Tuesday into Wednesday, here comes the second one, more potent. So between the two, we could be seeing anywhere from around 6 to 8 inches worth of snow from northern parts of Minnesota, eastern North Dakota, into northern Wisconsin, and a few inches there as well into Michigan as well going into the day on Wednesday. So travel could be disrupted as far as visibility restrictions. Heavy snow going to be giving us some low visibilities, and also it's going to be that drier fluffy snow. So it's going to be blowing around as well, again restricting those visibilities and some snow covered roads. And then we look at the icy conditions. Yes, there's fresh snowpack here, kind of a little bit of a cold air damming setup across northeastern Iowa, southern Wisconsin, and northern Illinois, where we could see a light glaze of ice to around 1/10 of an inch of ice. That would be enough to slow down some travel and make those roadways icy out there, favoring the Highway 20 corridor in northern Illinois and northeastern Iowa, and especially north of I-80 there in Iowa, Illinois. Keeping an eye on that. Rainfall further to the south, but it's really the rain in the Pacific Northwest that's going to be causing us the trouble. Double-digit rainfall totals here. Could be over a foot in some areas, including Seattle and Portland. Higher elevation snows. Again, that's going to be squeezed out there in the Cascades, but enough to produce some flooding here. In the Pacific Northwest today, we have a slight risk for flash flooding according to the Weather Prediction Center. Slight risk continues maybe a little bit further south into western Oregon as we go from Tuesday into Wednesday, and then Wednesday into Thursday, slight risk again. So a lot of flooding potential there in the Pacific Northwest. Make sure that you are watching the latest weather forecast out there. In addition to this storm system, if there's not enough already, we have high winds that are going to be moving across the northern United States with this. High wind watches and warnings have been posted. Wind gusts starting tonight going into Tuesday could really start to howl out of the northwest across portions of Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, and the western parts of the plains, where we could be seeing wind gusts in the higher elevations easily over 90, 100 miles per hour, lower elevations of 60 to 80 miles per hour into the Black Hills regions of the Dakotas and the panhandle of Nebraska on Tuesday. And then those winds are going to be spreading into the large chunk of the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, Tuesday night into Wednesday, and these wind gusts could easily be 40, 50, 55 miles per hour. And this could cause some isolated power outages, even in big cities like Lincoln, Des Moines, Milwaukee, Chicago, Indianapolis, Cleveland, getting into Detroit, and even down here in Lexington, Kentucky. So make sure you are ready for the wind by the time we get to midweek. Here's the wind gust swath, and notice the brighter the colors, that's where the stronger the winds will be. Here in the orange, simply around 40 to 60 mile per hour range. In those reds and maroon reds and whites over here into Montana, Wyoming, into portions there of northern Colorado, the western plains, 90 to 100 mile per hour wind gusts in the higher elevations going through Wednesday evening. Now, we did mention at the beginning of the video, a major Arctic blast is ticketed for the United States this weekend. We're seeing the colder air across the New England region today, and then we see another blast of colder air when those cold winds from the northwest midweek start to import cold air into the upper Midwest on Wednesday. And then our biggest Arctic blast of the season coming here Friday into Saturday. This is where in pink and purple, those temperature anomalies are going to be near 60 degrees. Yes, 60 degrees below normal for what we should see on December 13th here on Saturday. What will those wind chills look like? The real feel of as you step outside and what it feels like to the body. Well, Friday morning on the 12th, going to be feeling like 40 to 50 below up here into northern parts of North Dakota. And then going into Saturday morning, widespread 20 to 30 degrees below zero wind chills across the upper Midwest, stretching as far south as central Illinois and Indiana. So it's going to be a cold one there on Saturday. And then going into Sunday, it's still going to be cold, but not as cold, but still 5 to 15 below. Those are sub-zero wind chills. You want to bundle up in layers and cover any exposed skin. Frostbite in these conditions can occur in less than 20 or 30 minutes. Yes, and if that's not enough, we have more snow on the way. So as we go into late in the week here, we're going to see more clipper systems coming down from the northern plains and into the portions of the Midwest, Ohio Valley. These ones may be a little bit further south as the colder air pushing that storm track just a little bit further south late week. This will be the dry, powdery, fluffy snow again, so easy to move at least, but definitely seeing more of that heading into the weekend. So between Friday and Sunday, there's another swath here of a few to several inches of snow from the northern plains, the Midwest here, especially favoring the lower part of the Midwest like Iowa and Illinois, and then through the Ohio Valley, Indiana, Ohio, northern Kentucky, West Virginia there in the Appalachians. and then getting into parts of the Northeast for the weekend. Now, here's the snow between now and mid-month, and you can see where it's going to be flying up to the north. Southern Canadian prairies, the northern tier of the U.S. here, especially favoring the Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, and the Northeast. Areas further south will simply just be too warm through mid-month to get snowfall. But here's where the fortunes do change. As we go into the week 3 period of December, the 16th through the 23rd, a big tropospheric polar vortex setting up shop here over Canada. Big ridge of high pressure that you want here in Alaska and the Bering Strait. That's going to force colder air further south into the lower 48. And here it is as we go into week 3. Coldest, yes, I understand, is in Western Canada, but you really don't want the really extreme cold air because it can't really snow that cold. It's dry air. So as we look at the lower 48 week 3, this is going to be a temperature battle zone across the Midwest Great Lakes, and that is perfect for a storm track to move through those areas. And look, as we go here even into Christmas week, week 4, the last week of December, it's going to be cold as well, and that temperature battle zone does continue. So as we go between now and around the first week of January, look at all the snow we see out west. Yes, the mountains out there, the ski resorts loving all the snow. Into the Midwestern regions, Great Lake with some lake effect enhancement to that, and then parts of New England seeing that. And by the way, Southern Canada gets quite a bit of snow too through the first week of January. Watch as we go in through the middle of the month of January. I get it's about a month out, but folks, look how far south the snow line does go, and it goes to Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Kentucky, and even much of the Ohio Valley. So areas that haven't seen a lot of snowfall here in December and will likely not see as much may actually get the fortunes to change in January and see some pretty heavy snowfall. And just to talk about a pattern that happened back in 1978-79, which is following this winter's analogs, there was a strong low pressure system on January 25th of 1978 that developed down there near Jonesboro, Arkansas, and moved all the way up there into the Detroit area as a powerful bomb cyclone with a strong Arctic high on the backside. This is on January 26th of 1978. You remember the great blizzard of 1978-79, 2 to 3 feet of snow, 80 mile per hour wind gusts with Arctic sub-zero wind chills on the backside. This was a classic winter storm here in the late 1970s. Not to say that this will happen this go around, but this picture here with that snow track from Texas up toward the Great Lakes gives you a little bit of an eerie vibe that we could have a major winter storm track as we go into the middle of the month of January, and that's what we could be tracking here as we go through that time frame. So looking here step by step, week 3 of December, snow going to be out west, mainly covering the northern tier of the U.S. and southern Canada. Going into week 4, including Christmas and New Year's Eve, we're going to continue to see snow out west and again favoring much of the north central U.S., maybe some southern snow down here in, say, the Texas Panhandle, stuff like that. Our fortunes change as we go into the first week or so of January with some snowfall in the Northeast. We haven't seen a lot in the Northeast, and then across the Ohio Valley. And then once we get into week 2 and 3 of January, look at that snow track. Again, could be a major winter storm across the south and moving towards the Ohio Valley. Again, this will change 1.5 million times. I understand that, folks. But when we're looking at analogs, 1978, 1979 is the leading analog for this winter season. So we're going to keep an eye on that as we go through the middle of January. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're going to have another video update for you this evening with new data coming in. So make sure that you have your post notifications turned on for that. Leave a comment in the comment section down below the video. Do you like this winter weather? Do you like warmer weather and rainy weather? Let me know in the comment section down below, and let me know how your week is going as well. So thanks for watching, everybody, and have a wonderful, safe, and warm rest of your Monday out there.